You can take down most websites on the internet for $50. That's not an exaggeration. DDoS for hire services will do it for you. No technical skills required. Today, we're breaking down how DDoS attacks actually work, the 3 categories every defender needs to know, and why the 2026 version is harder to stop than ever. DDoS attacks all have the same goal: overwhelm a target so legitimate users can't reach it. But they attack different layers. Understanding the layer matters because the defenses are different. Category 1. Volumetric attacks. These are the ones you see in the news. X terabytes per second headlines. Attackers flood you with so much raw traffic that your internet pipe fills up. UDP floods, DNS amplification, NTP amplification. The tactics vary, but the outcome is the same. Your bandwidth is saturated before the traffic ever reaches your firewall. Category 2. Protocol attacks. Instead of raw volume, these exploit how network protocols work. SYN floods send massive numbers of half-open TCP connections, exhausting your server's connection table. Ping of death, smurf, and fragmented packet attacks fall in this category. They don't need huge bandwidth to be devastating. Category 3. Application layer attacks. These are the sneakiest. They look like legitimate traffic, real HTTP requests, real user behavior, but at a scale designed to exhaust your application's CPU or memory. HTTP floods hit expensive endpoints. Search pages, login forms, database queries with just enough volume to bring the app down without triggering volumetric alerts. Volumetric attacks used to require the attacker to have massive bandwidth. Amplify changed that. Here's the trick. Some UDP-based protocols respond with much more data than you sent them. DNS is a classic example. You send a small query, let's say 60 bytes, and the DNS server responds with a much larger record. If you spoof the source address to be your victim, the DNS server sends its response to the victim, not you. Now scale that up. Send thousands of small spoofed queries per second across thousands of open DNS resolvers, all responding to your target. You just amplified your attack by 50 to 100 times with minimal bandwidth on your end. DNS isn't the worst. NTP amplification hit 500 times more. Memory cached amplification was used in the 2018 GitHub attack. Can amplify by 50,000 times more. The attacker sends 200 gigabytes of spoofed queries and generates 1.7 terabits of victim-directed traffic. The 2026 evolution takes this further. AI-orchestrated DDoS platforms watch your defenses in real time and switch attack vectors when one gets blocked. Volumetric not working because you deployed cloud scrubbing? The platform pivots to application layer attacks. Application defenses catching on? Back to protocol exhaustion. The platform is. How to identify it? If your website goes down and stays down, you eventually figure it out. The goal is faster than that. Traffic pattern anomalies come first. Sudden bandwidth spikes. 10 times or 100 times normal leveled within minutes. Sudden source diversity. Traffic from IP ranges you've never seen. Sudden geographic distribution. Traffic from countries you don't normally serve. Your SIEM should be alerting on all of these. For protocol attacks, look at connection tables. High volumes of SYN packets with no completed handshakes. Half-open connections piling up. TCP retransmissions climbing. Servers reporting connection limits reached. For application layer attacks, the signals are subtle. Response times climbing on specific endpoints. Connection pool exhaustion in your web tier. Requests that look legitimate individually but come at rates no human could generate. Watch your CDN and WAF logs. They see the pattern before your origin does. Upstream provider alerts. Your ISP or cloud provider often sees a DDoS forming before you do. Enterprise networks should have contact procedures established so alerts reach the right team fast. If your provider calls to say you are being attacked, they usually write. The DDoS as distraction pattern. This is where attackers will launch a DDoS specifically to occupy your defenders while the real attack, data exfiltration, unauthorized access happens quietly. If you see in a DDoS, always watch for lateral movements, credential activity, and unusual data flows. Don't let the loud attack blind you to the quiet one. Modern defense happens upstream, at the edge, before the traffic even reaches you. Cloud-based DDoS protection, Flare, AWS Shield, Akamai, Google Cloud Armor. These services have massive network capacity, hundreds of terabytes per second globally. Volumetric attacks that would kill your infrastructure barely register on their scrubbing platforms. If you have public-facing services, you need one of those in front of them. CDN and Anycast distribution. Content delivery networks distribute your content geographically. Instead of one origin server absorbing an attack, the load spreads across dozens or hundreds of edge nodes. Anycast routing means attackers can't easily target a single node. Traffic naturally flows to the closest one. Web application firewall for application layer attacks. Rate limiting. Bot detection. Challenge pages. JavaScript challenges. Modern WAFs use behavioral analysis to distinguish humans from bots without breaking legitimate users. Rate limiting and traffic shaping. Even without a WAF, basic rate limits protect your app tier. Requests per IP per minute. Connection limits per source. Resource-intensive endpoints get stricter limits than static content. This won't stop volumetric attacks, but it kills a lot of low and slow application layer attacks cheaply. BGP and black hole routing. When traffic is overwhelming your network, ISPs can announce your prefix into a null route. Essentially, this tells the internet to drop all traffic bound for you. It's a last resort. It's a last resort to go dark to legitimate users too, but it stops the attack and buys time. Incident response. Have a DDoS runbook. Know who to call at your provider. Have communication templates ready. Practice the response. DDoS attacks are stressful in the moment, and preparation is the difference between a smooth mitigation and a chaotic one. DDoS in 2026 is cheaper for attackers, harder to defend against, and often used as a smokescreen for something worse. Cloud-based mitigation isn't optional if you have public infrastructure, and knowing the 3 attack categories tells you what defenses actually apply to your risk. I put together a DDoS readiness checklist. The mitigation stack, provider contact template, and the incident response flow. Download it at Nas'scyber.com. Link is in the description. Next episode, we're breaking down man-in-the-middle attacks, ARP spoofing, DNS poisoning, evil twin Wi-Fi, and the encrypted DNS attacks that are new in 2026. Subscribe so you don't miss out.